I got a story. Oh my gosh, there's a necklace on my boob. What? How? So there's an elevator. I'm getting way too ahead of myself. My mom and I were in this building. It was a tall building, thus it had an elevator because ain't nobody trying to walk that much. My mom and I entered the elevator. It is a 10-story building and it got 10 floors to stop to. And for some reason this day, it stopped on almost every floor. This day is today, by the way. If that's relevant information, it completely isn't. It doesn't matter. We walked into the elevator. It was like your average elevator. It had nice walls. The floors weren't slippery. There was no elevator music, which I kind of conflicted about, you know, because some elevator music is freaking bumping. You can get a little funky to it and everybody's just like, okay. But anyway, my mom pressed button number 1 and we were on our journey. We were on our way. It was a new adventure for sure. On the 9th floor, a girl entered the elevator. She was joining the party, you know? It wasn't a party. We were completely still and kind of awkward. There was no word said. This girl, let's name her Susie. She looked like a Susie. Susie went in the center of the elevator. I guess you can say she wanted to be the center of attention. Come on, Susie, like, calm yourself. Anyways, she had one of those purses that like show everything. Like, this is the purse. It's just like circular, but you can completely like see the top of it. And for some reason, on the top of it, she had her lunch and her lunchbox was open too. You know, she seemed like a pretty open person. Not everyone's that open. Go Susie. We're all rooting for a Susie, an open-hearted human being who can show random strangers in the elevator her lunch. I guess she wasn't really showing us her lunch. I'm just nosy. And like, you ain't got much to do when you're in an elevator, to be honest. So like, what you expect? And in her lunchbox, there was a banana. I guess you can say that was pretty bananas. Yes, I just mentioned that part of the story just to make a pun. I hope you like this story so far, because I do. To the 8th floor we went. There was a stop on the 8th floor. A guy entered the elevator. He also joined the party, but this guy, he looked awkward. Let's call him Ben. He looked like a Ben. I'm not saying all Bens are awkward, of course. It's just like he looked like a Ben and he looked awkward. So he's like Ben the awkward guy. So Ben had a face and his face looked like it had a permanent gas bubble. And then I got to pondering. I got to thinking, you know, this is the worst place to have a gas bubble. It's like, why did this dude, out of all the elevators he could have gone on, and he went on this elevator and he could potentially cut the cheese? It's one of the least humane things you can do. We have nowhere to go. You just have to sit there and smell it. And you're trapped this gaseous fume. Like, how can you be so inconsiderate of other people, Ben? Come on. And as I was thinking this, it was like the gas bubble left him and one entered me. His face suddenly turned relaxed. It was like he knew. Ben no longer needed to fart, but I did. My stomach was saying I gotta toot. I had to fart. I was gonna make some butt acoustics. It was gonna be some derriere thunder, and I just felt bad. There was a new mission here. I could not do this to these poor people. At this point, there was only 4 of us, and only I knew what could have come. This toxic fume that could come out of my booty. It was intense. My heartbeat quickened. My mind kept thinking about how to prevent this from happening. All the scenarios that could have happened, but there was none because we were all stuck on this elevator and they had no idea. 7th floor. Jerry walked into the elevator. He just looked like a Jerry, you know? He walked directly to the front left corner. Good choice. It was the exact opposite of me. It was like he knew that the scents were gonna change. The fumes, the vibes of the whole elevator was gonna change in my area first. And he was like, I'm gonna be the last one to endure this. Jerry was smart. Smarter than I ever could be. 6th floor. Nobody walked into the elevator. It was one less potential victim of this fart that was to come. I felt the pressure stronger in my stomach. And I looked at my mom. She had no idea. Her face was the exact same. She couldn't read my mind. And I think I started sweating at that point. 5th floor. We were halfway there. I held it in that long. I believe I could have held it in for a few more minutes. We're doing this. Morgan Freeman's voice was just rooting for me in my head that I was not gonna fart this day in this elevator. I can wait a few more minutes. I got this. We're halfway there. 4th floor. We were getting closer to our destination. Nobody was gonna smell this. I was so happy. I was getting excited, but I couldn't get too excited because the bowels, you know, when you get a little excited, you get a little too moving. It gets a little dangerous. You have no control of to happen. We were on the 3rd floor. A guy walked in. He looked like a Rob. Not Robert, like a Rob, because it looked like he was gonna rob me from my dignity. If I farted right then and there, he would be the guy to be like, oh my gosh, it stinks. Who farted? And I, with all this pressure in my stomach as well as in my head, with Morgan Freeman's voice telling me not to fart, I would have just blurted something out and they would have all known that I would have farted, and I did that to them. 2nd floor, no one else came in. The elevator was full. I started sweating. There was a bead of sweat that just started coming down my forehead. It was like I actually started working out my stomach from not letting one go, you know? First floor, ladies and gentlemen. We made it, okay? We made it. The doors opened. It was the slowest elevator door opening I've ever seen. I was just happy we didn't get stuck. I mean, of course you never want to get stuck, but imagine getting stuck in an elevator with a person who had to fart so bad because dang on Jerry over there started making me nervous. When you get nervous, you don't know. Your body just reacts in certain ways. And this day, my body just wanted to fart. Everybody was in a rush. They went out of there. I think at the point they started seeing the beads of sweat and they were like, oh my gosh, this girl cannot fart within my vicinity. Velocity, what's the word? My area, my space. They were all speed walking out. It was just me and my mom, and I made it. I walked a few feet away from my mom, farted, caught back up to her. There were so many people walking in the hallway / room that no one would ever know it was me. And they can walk off. If they smelled something bad, they can just go. This day, I held in a fart for the people. And I think I'm a better person for it, to be fair. I really hope that you enjoyed the time I just wasted with this story. Definitely the content you signed up for subscribing to my channel. I'm tired and very hungry, and I just wanted to tell this very inspirational story of yes, you can hold a fart in an elevator, you know? I like how I told this story, but I can barely write a college essay. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. See you next video. Love you guys. See you next video. I just said that. Okay, see you next video.